It's 9 minutes before the hour. Kenyatta in Los Angeles. Hey, my friend, how you doing today?
Jumbo, welcome back,
Jumbo,
my brother.
back at you. Thank you.
And congratulations on your speedy recovery. You know that I was sending positive emanations your way.
I know you were. Thank you.
You started out, Tom, the first hour of the program, speaking about what the gentleman, I believe his name was Mark, just spoke about, and that was Senator Bugs Graham's comment. And this falls on the heels of Trump's CPAC speech. And as you know, I get information from wherever I can get it. I'm not a partisan. I just want the information. And so I held my nose and watched Trump's CPAC speech. And, this stuff used to be the racism, the calls to violence. It used to be, it would be in code. We called it dog whistling. Very, very blatant now. It's codeless. It's whistleless. And unlike the vibe I just got from you with your conversation with your previous caller, I'm not so sure, Tom, that this isn't potentially very dangerous. And one of the main reasons why is because a lot of these right-wing, racist, fascist are members of the military and the police. I think January 6th may have been a beta run. I don't know this, but it is very worrying for me. And then when you take along with that, when you think about, let's think about the Trump issue. If Trump announces before the midterms and he's indicted, people are going to die. I don't know how many, but there's going to be violence. If he announces after the midterms and he loses the election, there'll be violence. If he wins, there will be violence. All the while, we have issues with Iran. Yesterday, U.S. drone towed into port in the Hormuz Strait. We've got issues with Iraq's government being destabilized. It never was stable. China flexing muscle in Taiwan, an economy that's on life support. Tom, I wish I had your optimism, but this looks exceptionally dangerous to me. And let me say this finally. I am hoping that what I see as apathy is the intentional short-sightedness of the American public. I hope it's not blindness.
That's brilliant. Yeah. And what I'm expecting is stochastic terrorism as opposed to a focused attack. I mean, what Lindsey Graham is talking about, people are going to turn into the streets. I think what you're going to see if Donald Trump is indicted is more of the kind of things that we're getting, little drips and drabs. And most of them don't even float up to the level of being national news. They're local news. We've had 2 or 3 instances like this here in Oregon where road rage incidents turn into murders because somebody had a Biden-Obama or an Obama-Biden bumper sticker or things like that, or was driving a Prius. and I just see a whole lot more of that, a whole lot more violent, just kind of random, in-your-face violence coming from bullies associated with the Trump folks. Because I just don't see a central locus other than possibly the elections. And I'm guessing that with Biden as president, we're going to have a pretty significant, presence, although it's up to the states, I guess. I don't know, maybe the federal government can't do it at the polls.
Well, I absolutely concur because we are seeing in Southern California hate crimes, particularly against black people in the United States, are off the chart now.
Yep, and Asians too.
And my concern is that you can have someone like, let's say, and they'll exhume Kyle Rittenhouse some way, the Republican Party will, between now and 2024. Those incidents that you're talking about, these isolated things, could easily become flashpoints for larger conflagrations. That's my concern.
That's true, although I'm guessing that the flashpoint part will probably be the response rather than the action. In other words, a hate crime occurs and then people who are offended by the hate crime pour out into the streets. And then you've got a riot. What do you think? Because it seems to me like a lot of the right-wing militias have been basically emasculated because of their association with January 6th.
Tom, and as you know, I'm sorry, I just have too much, prior history and connection with the military and law enforcement.
Yeah.
That's where the fear is.
Yeah.
If you'll remember on January 6th, again, you have thousands of people chasing the cops up the stairs, where they will shoot a black man in the streets for selling loose cigarettes or choke him out. These people, these are cops, Capitol Police. They were running. They were running. Right. They did not unholster a weapon. They did nothing. And you already know this. There is substantive or evidence that there was collusion with law enforcement during that event. It's
true.
You know what? It's bad news, man.
Yeah. I guess the bottom line, whether, and I don't think that, the positions that you and I are taking, Kenyatta, are consequentially different, frankly. But the bottom line is that we need to work and perhaps, if inclined, pray or send good vibes or whatever for our country, because we, as you pointed out at the very beginning, we are in a terrible crisis. Kenyatta, thank you. It's always great to hear from you. We'll be right back.